This is part 5 of transforming myself into Itachi Uchiha and creating the environment. So the 4 part already out there, go and check on my YouTube channel. And in the last part what we did is add some tree in the environment and adjusted few areas here and there and added a moon in the back and created this moon uh, to match the scene and make it a bluish moon. Also added some collections to arrange the scene and added a lighting, some smoke clouds to fill up the background of the scene. So with that, we are continuing the fifth part, adding more detail and structure into environment to fulfill the empty spaces in between. What I'm trying to do here is filling the empty spaces with some ground scans, which I got from some other artist. This is free in his back, but it's a long time back, so I don't know, but it's in my asset browsers. What you can do is either download it from Blender Kit, from the add-on you can search inside Blender, or else you go to Polyheaven and get it from there. So or you have like save time for adding the details. You can find few there. If don't, you can also try Sketchfab as well. So here you can see the debris patches I got in my asset browser. I'm just trying to add them and make the perfect seam in the back look uneven. Although one thing I want to say is this is not a necessary detail you want to add in your scene if it's not visible in a dark environment. I mean, while building a scene, I didn't know how it's gonna look, but I just want to add this because like there is tree around here, and there always a street without any debris is not cause not look good unless you are building like a super cool clean scene like a city driving a car. But that's just another thing you need to focus on, or you need to like make a scene like there is always a purpose how detailed you wanna be. And the thing is that when you are building a scene, most of the time you do these things like add extra details which you don't wanna see, or you are not going to see it through your camera. So yeah, this is what that thing is right here, cause like I don't even bother myself to just look proper through the camera view that it is visible or not in the scene. I just wanna add it, so I added it. So yeah, that's how like sometime artists work. Just let it go. This is called a state of flow where like you just wanna make a scene and you are adding details and you just forgot how where you started and how you gonna end it. You just like this is the task I wanna do in it, that is the task I wanna do in it, and just continue through that. Yeah. So keep in mind, adding small detail is good, but if it's not visible, don't spend too much time. Like I know that from the camera angle right now that they are not gonna be visible with the dark mood of the environment, but eventually I added them cause like I'm doing a to duplicate that stuff. So no need to worry, like you can see it's visible right now, but that's too white for the scene. I'm gonna make it a bit darker. But the thing I try to say here is that you can work out that like uh, you can just ignore these steps if that's not too much visible. Like here you can see we can barely see those ground scans, and they are heavy meshes, so they add some extra data to your scene. So that's the main issue here. So yeah. And let's add some lights. So if there is a hope of them like looking visible, which I did here by adding a light to the side and increasing the strength so that they're visible barely somehow. So yeah, that things like this, tiny things add extra time and effort to your scene. So you need to manage those to uplift and speed up your workflow. So yeah, let's just finish this and add more and more details to the scene. So right now what I'm doing is seeing what details pops in my mind, so I'm just going to add and try adding like most of the things I already have with me, or else I go to Polyhaven and download it from Sketchfab or anywhere. There are some tons of free assets out there. My first option is to Blender Kit, but some of the assets there are too heavy, so I prefer like Sketchfab over Blender Kit first. And if I know that it's going to be available on Polyhaven, then I go there because they have nice quality assets and they are all optimized. So here I didn't find a street light in my asset browser, and I don't want to download a high geometry, so I'm just building a super low poly version of a light pole with just a cylinder. So that's basic geometry. You can do it as well. Okay, you can see. So you can say this is a quick tutorial on how to model a street light from just a cylinder and a cube. Basic thing, right? Well, if you are following this long, you know this stuff already. So yeah, this stuff are cool. Like even we have it in some other scene already. If you wanna open that file which you don't know where is it is on our computer, you just make with few steps. So you gotta do is this. That's the safe play, as I say. Cause like why I spend like 10 minutes finding some files and then a street map and then bring it to the scene, if I can make it in 2 minutes and like then combine this stuff. And yep, by the way, you can press Alt S to just scale a cylinder without like moving it on the normal axis from the top and bottom faces. So we are just gonna parent this to this, link the material and did the cube projection. Let's say go to UV editor and just place it somewhere so it won't look weird like this. And for the light, I'm gonna add separate material. Let's put it somewhere so we get some details like this. And now selecting control increase the selection and assigning a new material. Let's first find if we have any material. If we don't, then I'm gonna add some new material. So this is not a material which I want. Let's add another, and what do we do? Let's make new one. So I'm gonna add a emission shader and just give it a warm yellow color, lightly range, or you can say increase the value so the strength cast light on the ground. That will help our detail like pop into the scene. So first I'm gonna place this right. Where is the normals? Let's say okay, now we got the normals. Now it's inside the pole. So by the way, that wasn't visible from this far from the camera, but you know, sometime be a good perfectionist and do stuff that makes sense to you. I don't know about people, but yeah, if it makes sense to you, just do it. And yeah, you know the clouds, they are made with just a volume cube. Just seeing how the scene goes from here to there. So the scene looks fine. And what else we can do with the scene is, let's say we are going to add some more lighting into the scene to just make and create a scene look more alive. Maybe some foreground lights will work fine. Let's move it to the right collection and name it pole light. And now let's increase this point light value power and see how it affects to the foreground, because it looks pitch black dark, which we don't want. I mean, it's nice contrast from back to front, but that's like too much dark. Maybe not. Oh, that anisotropy looks cool, but I'm gonna stick to 0 0. Let's decrease it, or I prefer delete, because that was a nice contrast though. That looks fine. Let's add a cube. Maybe add some foreground fog to the scene. That will work fine. And here a little fog without any noise texture, or maybe we can add a noise because we have in the background, so a little bit noise texture in the foreground as well will work fine. Not too hasty. So let's say density is too much. Let's decrease to 0.01. 0.02 is fine. Sometimes we just get straight to the point with the color and texturing, I say, and sometimes it's just too much broken, and the few scenes that like look cartoonish or weird, bad animation quality. So I prefer like this scene, from the start it came out right, just a single light as I wanted it to be. Here, so the noise we get in the scene is working, but not looking good to me right now. What do we do? I can keep it with lower, less density, or we can delete it. Maybe just have it on the ground. I love the background cloud we made with the noise, but the foreground might need to be adjusted somehow. So let's see what we can do. Maybe contact shadows will work. I think we don't need a contact shadow for this one, so yeah. Well, for the background big light, we definitely need contact shadows. Okay, spotlight just spoil the look of the scene, but let's play with the values and see. A white moon work fine. Too bright, maybe decrease the value to 4 5 will work fine. 5 is looks nice. Maybe some tweaking, fix the foreground fog. I mean, I do need a fog in foreground, but I also don't wanna make my scene just like go hasty. Maybe some emission fog will light up the foreground as well as giving the foggy look. And yeah, cause the background light, the area light coming from the moon is like casting for the background, and for the foreground I need some like solid light, but don't wanna do it too much, so emission shader in the volume will work fine, giving that slightly, giving the like whitish look to the black fog in the foreground. I mean, it's kind of gray right now, but I think it works fine. Let's set this to mount as well. And let's say we can still play with the value. Whoa, well, that was kind of nice look for albedo map. Okay, so all the sketchfab model are here. We can rearrange them as well. I mean, there are not so much models, just a few, but they looks fine. Let's move this light to light, add here and increase the power to just get some background lighting in the scene. Maybe adjust to the left or right. Increasing some radius might help. Warm tone is fine. And now like the moonlight and the bottom light is kind of like matching. Also, like it feels like that the pole is casting the light down to the ground. I think spotlight also looks good, but the point light make more sense, I guess. Well, I think this angle of the area light looks better than what we have in the front. Let's see, what we're gonna find here is some stuff that we can add into the scene, a crate or maybe some boxes. So we are now placing few assets that will help us populating the scene. So I'm just gonna add this crate asset and add into the collection of populating asset. So what this will do is give us some more like structure around the building which is empty. You can see in the bottom render view how that much adding only these assets increase the scene depth and quality. Like yes, they are from a neighborhood and there are few things there. So now I'm just going adding this crate. You see these assets have a different origin with an empty attached to them, so that's because of like when they were into the asset browser they were offset from the world origin. So whenever you add asset from the world origin, so what you do is keep all your asset into the world origin at the center of your scene, then you add into asset browser, otherwise it's gonna just span like from the offset of the center if they are not in the center in the original scene. So whenever I add asset on my own into the asset browser, I do this, but this asset comes directly like already in the asset browsers from the blend file I got from the kit bash 3D. So what I did is just directly add them into the scene. And to fulfill this scene, I'm just gonna add more and more assets. This is a Neo City Kit Bash pack, which is I think free, cause when I got it, it was free. So yeah, just using it to populate the scene. Few assets here and there will make a huge difference to our little scene. You can see that I am just adding this card along the corner of the house, so it look like that a cellar house. But let me just delete these things, and yeah, that will fix it, and it will be here, so that will work fine. Maybe not here, somewhere there, cause this had the stand to hold if the weight is too much on that side. So yeah, and yep, I forgot to add some flower asset I scanned, like small, what do we call them, small pots of flowers. So I'm just gonna see later to add them. For now, bit weird. I don't need an empty, I just need a rock, so I can just add some ground material, ground particle, so that the scene is like populated with these small rocks, cause right now it looks too clean. So yeah, just add these pebbles into the collection, or maybe find some rocks, maybe now I lost, what do I do? Let's see. First need some light there, yes, so we can see the card we added, cause it's too dark over there right now. And this is some scanned plants at my friend's home. So yeah, that time the scan quality wasn't that good, so it come as a chunk, but right now the Kiri engine is better in scanning, so you can just get a cool looking scan without doing anything. Just capture a video and put it into Kiri engine. That work best if you wanna do a photo scan, so make sure you are recording on 60 fps, so the quality will be much better, and then you can work with that. So right now you see I deleted that bonsai and just added in all the assets to just scale them on the actual size, so they will be equal, and now I can place them. So let's add some few more and scale them properly. I guess when I add them into the scene they were huge, so that's why they are bigger. Now I got the scale which I know, so yeah, that one was too dense to be added. Let's decrease, scale is 0.1, and I get one high poly and one low poly model of the same thing, so I'm just gonna delete the high poly ones and add the low poly ones. That will help us create and manage our scene properly. Otherwise too much geometry will affect the scene too much, cause there will be like character with a rig, so when that happen I want to see play at least half of the fps, like if we are doing the animation 34 fps, so it will be like visible in 12 fps at least, so I get the animation frame rate correct. And here you can see I added a big one, but I think will fit here, right? So just placing it accordingly. Here it will look fine, and now scene looks kinda alive with those few assets around the corner. So you know how a little changes can make things like from 0 to 10, 10 to 100. That's how progress works. Because in the starting I just liked the scene however it was, but as I progressed I thought why not just add this and this and this, and so the idea keeps flowing into my head and I'm just doing the stuff like that. Still there is adding a character and rigging and matching the animation left, which will be in the upcoming videos. So yeah, right now like we have added too much things here, so I'm just gonna fix it. Like we started with some scans, like these scans which still left to color correct. I mean they are closer to what is our what we say footpath or our walkway is at the corner in front of the house, but I might get to change the values. And yeah, this is like a flower and not a flower, I mean leaf debris you can say, or leaf scan. So I'm just going to put it here at the corner, and I think there needs to be some color adjustment we need. Let's see roughness value cause it's look shinier, so I'm just gonna make it more the white sides, they shine less. And right now it's okay. And what else we can add from here, let's say some rocks. So these rocks I'm going to scatter around. So from here we will find like just 2-3 rocks from the nature asset pack I got from Blender Market, now Superhive, but that time it was Blender Market. So let's select few small rocks and be separate selection and delete this and keep this and P, and just merge by distance and then select P by loose parts so they will separate, and set their origin to geometry. So each one have the origin in the center, and now I'm gonna put it into the pebble collection. Delete the previous one and let's rename it to pebbles, or you can say rocks as well. What I'm gonna do is add a particle system on the ground and use this collection to scatter some small rocks. So let's see if we can use them to populate a scene, but here they are looking just fine. Just gonna adjust their height, and I think it's time for them to go to particle. So what I need is, first I'm gonna select the ground. Okay, so before the ground, here you can see I just brought a lamp I got from Sketchfab, the stone lamp, so it will look nice. Stone lantern you can say. You have seen in the Chinese scene they have like the stone lantern along the pathways, so they look super cool. So just using that. So let's say just wait, load the texture. Okay, the texture is loaded, so we need to view them properly, and let's place it here a bit into the ground along the walkway, and I'm gonna just select the hierarchy and duplicate it, because, or maybe we can add array onto this, increase the distance, and that looks, the number looks fine, but one of them is in front of the house, so let's move it a bit further. Yeah, that arrangement looks fine. And also added some depth to the scene, so I guess they are okay. Okay, so I'm just adding a point light cause in EV the emission shader doesn't cast too much light, so I'm just gonna add this which replicate the light of the lamp. Cycles is good and like light bouncing and all, but that was a old version of Blender. This one which I'm working on, like 4 point something or maybe 3.6 or something. So yeah, just going to change them to bright yellow to orange maybe. So they are looking fine. I'm just gonna add this light and turn it to a bit orangish red. Just duplicate this light in front of the lamps, Alt T, so they are like link duplicates. Let's just say I just want to like that will work fine, easy to work. Like one time I duplicate it and then shift R to repeat the action, so just gonna Alt T to the distance of the right location and then press shift R 2-3 times and it will fill the scene, you can see. And I just separated it by clicking forward slash on the keyboard. You can press on the numpad as well, or you can hit the question mark key. So yeah, and what we have here, this is another lamp I got from Sketchfab, so just going to add into the scene, and now the scene look more livable, I mean alive. So I'm gonna add something more lights here. This light looks cool. Add some depth to the scene and bring that like bloom from the lights to outside the scene. So yeah, duplicate it over here and now just move it here. Maybe here it will look fine. So the scene looks alive and nice, and I think the particle part is missing from the recording, but it's just a simple particle system I added, so you can do it too, hair particle system. So yeah, that's a easy peasy trick for you. And you can see like we have done pretty much most of the thing here. What we need is the character stuff and on the rigging of the character. For the poses I don't find the animation, and like for the remaining we will do like adding smoke and all. So I have previously made the video before explaining about that, so you can like watch it. It's in part 2 I think, which was like messed up when I recorded, so the sequence was up and down. So you can just go back and watch part 2. I'll just add it in top of the corner so you can just get it. And yeah, I'm just for commentary, the thing you wanna see is here already, and I'm just explaining the thought process behind creating a scene. So yeah, it's up to you, like if you like it, and you can just learn something and play with things like you want. So it's up to your taste to adjust the scene accordingly. So we have a character here, so I'm just going to rig this, but that will be on the upcoming part. I need the pose here on top of the pole. So yeah, this character I stand from KV engine myself in the Itachi cosplay, and the head scan I did separately cause the closer look I needed, that's why. And for the body scan and that I did separately, and then combine them both. You can see the head meshes, two different sections, the front and the back. So yes, this is how I made it, and let's merge them into a separate blend file, so it will be easy, and then uploaded them in Ximo and added some animation. So this is it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep making something. Bye bye.